Welcome back. Joining me is David Stones, Stratford's first poet laureate. Thank you very much, David, for joining me.
Well, thanks very much, Peter. It's a real pleasure to join you again and, allow your audience to find out more about the poet laureate role here in Stratford. As I tell the story, it took 200 years to discover me. So I got a lot of talking to do.
200. Well, tell us about the position first off.
Well, the position really is about shining a spotlight on good causes and events and ceremonies. So I particularly focused on not-for-profits and charities and key municipal stakeholders. I've done a range of events. I've done 20 plus events in my first 6 months. I was supposed to do three a year. So it is all about shining a spotlight and engaging an audience. So, for example, opening night of Stratford Summer Music, I was honored to perform a poem there. And for the 350, 400 people, I performed a poem that spoke to the power of music to overcome human aggression and violence. And it just helps kind of set the stage for the uh, season of Stratford Summer Music. So that's really what it's all about. And the second part of the mandate really is about building out a community poetry program and being a bit of a literary ambassador for the city and for other writers and poets and literary artists in Stratford. So it's really a two-part mandate: shine the spotlight and build out a community poetry and literary arts program.
Well, it seems like you're doing lots of things at the library, so tell us about that.
Well, technically, I report to Destination Stratford and to the library. So they're very excellent partners to have. I've announced a countywide poetry contest, for example, and I can't launch something like that as a single individual. So the library and Destination Stratford have been really important in partnering in that marketing launch. For the library too, I did their first ever happy hour. So they've initiated these series of open houses on Friday nights during the summer. And again, I was honored to be asked to perform the 40-minute opening show, which I did with an excellent violinist, Leo Stock. He performed with me for several other events that I've had. I've got a workshop coming up on September the 5th at the library called How to Speak Poetry, which is all about the performance of poetry and helping other poets, or hopefully helping other poets, optimize the performance of their work verbally and in person.
Well, as you said, it took 200 years to discover you.
Yeah,
You're a Pushcart award winner, and then I think you've got over 500 written poems. How do
yeah.
you get that creativity?
Well, I don't know exactly. Sometimes they come to you real fast and you write them down, and you have to be fast actually, so you don't lose them. We all have those kind of bursts of creativity in our sleep sometimes, and we say, gee, I wish I could retain that. But I have close to 600 poems in print. That's 600 published poems now. And I'm very proud of that. If I go back, I've really been taking my poetry seriously for the last 20 years or so. I've always been published, but until I quote unquote retired, if I call this retirement, I had probably 10 to 15 poems published during my lifetime. But I had poems published in France and India and the UK. And as I say, since I retired, I've really been taking it seriously. I have three major collections out now and a fourth one to come very shortly. And I'm very proud of that track record. But it is a bit of a treadmill. You know, you have to keep creating, you have to keep producing new material, trotting it out and testing it out at the open mics and the poetry reading series that we have around town. I go to London, I go to Kitchener, I go to downtown Toronto for some of the stuff I do. I try to stay active.
David, what would you do to encourage new poets?
Well, I guess the first thing I would have to say is write poetry. Get off your bum and write. Writing's hard work sometimes, but write and write every day if you can. And I also say read a lot of poetry because you learn a lot from reading. The main thing is get out there and, as Nike instructs us, just do it.
Thanks, David.
Absolutely. My pleasure, Peter, as always.